Let me ask you a question. What reason will you use that you can drink today? What's the reason? There's always a reason to drink. I'm going to go over some reasons why that is and some strategies you can take so that you can get on the right path that you've been wanting for such a long time. I think number one, we have to change the narrative from I have to quit drinking or I can't drink to I get to feel good every day. I get to take power over my life. I don't have to drink. I'm choosing not to drink. If we can change our narrative, then we can start to change the way we think about alcohol. I made a video called No Escape, and it really highlights the fact that we are programmed to drink from the time we're born. Literally from the time we're born. Family celebrations are surrounded with alcohol. Alcohol's in the media, in the TV. We are programmed to drink, and it's a rite of passage. When we turn 21, it's like the last barrier is lifted and we can do anything we want. We can go anywhere, we can go to bars. Since we are programmed to drink, our neural pathways are set in motion to always want to drink. And then if you end up being a drinker, your knee-jerk reaction is to have a drink no matter what. And I really like to use the analogy of when you have to change your password at work. So your passwords last for like 6 months, right? And that's only 6 months. But you put in your password every morning when you get to work, every time you have to log onto the computer, and on the day where you have to change your password, how many times do you put in the wrong password?
And have to be like, oh, I forgot.
And put in the new password. And over time, that new password becomes easy to do and easy to remember. So our brain needs to be reprogrammed. And that takes effort, and that takes work, and that is uncomfortable. If you're having a hard time with quitting drinking, think of it that way. This is like a new way of living, a new way of learning, creating a new path to deal with your feelings. Another issue with quitting drinking is we can know we need to quit, but if we don't want to quit, that's our biggest barrier. So if you know you need to quit and you're not at that I want to quit stage, but you kind of hope to get to that stage, then we really need to manifest that way of thinking and focus on all of the benefits of not drinking instead of all of the losses from giving up alcohol. Start researching the benefits of not drinking, the effects on your body, the effects on your appearance, the effects on your health. And then also, there's a lot of blogs out there that talk about the 30-day alcohol challenge, what happened, or the 90-day alcohol challenge, what happened. And relationships changed. Relationships were mended. It's just everything about quitting drinking is so positive. So start with researching that. Since I can't say anything to help you quit drinking or help you stay quit, because I know it comes from within you, I do have some strategies that I used when I quit drinking myself. I'm on my 5 years now, and I won't say it was easy, but I was dedicated to this process. So maybe you can pick and choose from the list I'm about to give you and see if any of these can give you the will to quit, the strength to quit, the inspiration to quit, or whatever it is you need. Tip number 1, go to AA meetings. So AA meetings aren't for everyone, but it's a good place to start. And one of the reasons why I suggest this for people who aren't in the field that I am in, and maybe you are, but I'm a nurse. And so I worked in the ER and I saw the effects of alcohol on people. I saw the end of the road. I saw, people getting injured and death caused by alcohol many, many times. And that actually helped me as a reminder of what could happen or what could go wrong. Same thing with AA. While it is a supportive environment, there's also newcomers that are coming in all the time. And when you have gotten to a point of being stronger, or you have, a few days behind you, or a few months, or a few years, seeing the look that they have, where they are in their drinking journey can help you, and then you can be a beacon of hope for them. It's like a full circle type of situation. So even though AA may not be where you end up, starting there and going to a couple of meetings would be a good place to start. Plus, there's always good people at AA meetings and a lot of support. If you're like, absolutely not, I am an introvert and I'm not going to an AA meeting, you can listen to the AA podcast. The AA podcast, you can just get on your phone under the apps, and it's an AA podcast, and you can pick and choose what stories you want to listen to. And everyone shares sort of their story just like they would in an AA meeting, and you can get a lot of inspiration from that. Read the Quit Lit, the quit literature. So books on quitting drinking from various authors all offer different perspectives. My favorite, as you know, was The Unexpected Joy of Sobriety by Catherine Gray. I absolutely loved that book. It was so inspiring to me, and I just pretty much read it every single night for months and months and months, different parts of it. And maybe you'll find yours too. I talked about these books in another video, but I'll mention them again because it just merits repeating. But there's This Naked Mind by Annie Grace. That one's really good, and it breaks down all of the sort of pathophysiology behind drinking and why we become so dependent on it and how to break the cycle. That one was really good too. Jason Bale wrote Quit the Drink Easily. That's a really good book, and it's from a man's perspective. And it's a little bit more like tough love kind of writing, but very good book. So find that, watch social media, get in touch with social media. People on Instagram, the Recovery is the New Black and Sober Girls Society, and you need to find the types of social media that works for you, because some of them can be pretty dark, some of them can be pretty sarcastic. So you just have to see what works for you and your spirit as far as when you need that support for quitting drinking. You can read about sober celebrities. And even though this is kind of a funny one, it's just really, you don't know that some of these celebrities who play big drinkers in movies and shows are actually sober, and then it starts to make sense to you. Someone this successful and this driven, of course they're not hungover every day. And it just starts to open your eyes to the reality of drinking and what drinking really does to us, and it really hinders our life and our growth. Some of my favorite celebrity stories to read about were Bradley Cooper and Robert Downey Jr., just these amazing actors and all that they went through. It's inspiring to read. You can commit to a project of some kind. So if you are in the beginnings of quitting drinking, or this is, your multiple time of trying, set a long-term goal that really alcohol has no place in. So I decided when I quit drinking that I was going to train for a marathon. So I quit drinking in the beginning of December of 2018, and in January I started training for a marathon that I was going to run in October. So that was 10 months, and I had to build up from not running very often to running 20 miles during the weekend. And I really had to train, and I had to run multiple times a week. So running was amazing for me in the beginning journey. Also, things like hot yoga. You can sign up at certain hot yoga studios where you do a 30-day challenge where you have to go every single day. Something like that. Plan something that will give you focus and motivation to stay away from that drink. And anytime that you want to have a drink, you need to take a pause and play that tape forward. Just do that for yourself. What will happen if you actually have that drink? How will you feel the next day? What will you be doing, a little bit later? And alcohol is a slippery slope. If you take that one drink, sometimes it just spins out of control and you're right back to where you were before. And if you do have a few weeks under your belt, then your body isn't as tolerant to the alcohol, and so it can really be dangerous. That's what I saw quite often in the ER setting, was people had quit for a while, and then when they relapsed, they just got very, very sick because they just went right back to where they were before. I'm sure you've already experienced this, but when we try to quit anything, there'll be a little voice in our head saying, hey, a drink sounds great right now. Ooh, wouldn't a beer taste good right now? And so I like to have a couple of things in place when those moments hit me. Number one, a mantra, you have no power over me. You're in control of you. not that voice. And I do discuss this in another video, but it sounds a little bit crazy to be arguing with yourself like it's someone else in your brain, but it is. It's the addictive voice in you. It's not the logical voice, the voice of the person that you want to be. It's this other, it's the little devil on your shoulder. So we have to fight back, and you can't really fight with yourself. So I like to name that person, and I named that person Ravenna. Well, it's Charlize Theron actually from Snow White and the Huntsman, but I just talk to her and say, you know what, I'm not having this right now. I don't want to have a drink. Please don't bring it up again. And at first, in the first month or even 3 months, it was really crazy. And I would actually have to be like,
shut up,
or stop it, like sternly. But it was talking to that voice. And that was so hard to break. But over time, that voice got quieter and quieter and less. And now, I'm not saying it never pops into my head, because it does. I can handle it so much better now, and I am the strong one, and that addictive voice has definitely quieted down. So naming your voice, having a mantra, just really being committed to what you've decided for yourself. And then another thing that we have to do is we have to recognize sort of the challenges that we have. We have to let go of our excuses, because a big excuse for me was I was the only person out of everyone that I knew that quit drinking. My husband never quit drinking. When I quit drinking, there was alcohol in my house. So I could have used that as an excuse. I could have used that as an excuse as to why I couldn't stop drinking. Everyone drank around me. We have to figure out those excuses and really put the kibosh on them. Because at that time too, I also had 3 teenagers who were giving me hell, like on the daily. And so that could have been my excuse, because of them causing me, distress and pain and all of this stuff. Like that could have been my excuse to keep drinking. But every day I just was committed to me. It's almost like quitting drinking is a selfish act for those of us who live our lives with this past hurt or past trauma or people-pleasing natures. Be selfish. Quitting drinking is for you. This needs to be an empowerment for you. This needs to be something you're proud of. And it's hard to do that in this society that we live in. But over time, I feel like such a rebel. I really do. I feel like giving up alcohol was like the coolest thing I've ever done. And I'm so proud of myself, and I'm such a good example to my kids and my family and my mom and my husband. And you really can't replace that. The feeling of pride that you will have for yourself is remarkable. If you're watching this video because you have been struggling with trying to quit drinking and relapsing, please just hang in there and give it another go. Remember, it's not how many times we get knocked down, it's how many times we get back up. I will see you in the next video, and I'm gonna link my videos that I made about quitting drinking in first 30 days and first year right here. Okay.